When publicly confronted with the increasingly overwhelming evidence that he is wildly unpopular, the beleaguered shadow president Elon Musk had a fleeting glimmer of a moment of self-awareness in which he admitted that he is digging his own political grave. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, this is a bit of a follow-up to a video we did sometime in the past week. Nate Silver, formerly of 538, has not only been tracking Donald Trump's popularity, or lack thereof, he also started tracking Elon Musk's popularity, or lack thereof. And we actually touched on this, but then Elon Musk actually replied to it. But to give you some context, Nate Silver tweeted, "We just launched an Elon Musk popularity tracker to accompany our Trump approval tracker. Currently, he's at a -14 as compared with a Trump's -5. In other words, as unpopular as Donald Trump objectively is, Elon Musk is far less popular, far more unpopular." And Elon Musk actually responded to this. He says, "This is the inevitable outcome of having a political propaganda war waged against me while I have almost no countervailing campaign." But this is the key part. "And at times, digging my own grave way better than my enemies do." Laughing emoji, laughing emoji. Is this Elon Musk having a roundabout moment of accountability, of self-awareness? Now, obviously, he couches it in language, well, it's my enemies, unleashing a propaganda war against me. Your enemies are certainly pointing out all the terrible, stupid things you've done and said, but that's your fault, right? You give them the proverbial ammunition. That last part there is really fascinating to me because, as we've discussed, Elon Musk is a malignant narcissist with thin skin and a vindictive streak a mile wide, and someone who's as, unreceptive to criticism as Donald Trump is one of the many things they have in common. But here he did something interesting that I've never seen Trump do, which is, and he tried to laugh it off, but admit that he's at least partially responsible for his own unpopularity. It's interesting to me. Could it be that the current circumstances are piling up and are overwhelming him? Tesla stock is in the toilet. His approval rating and popularity are incredible lows. He faced a disastrous humiliation in the Wisconsin Supreme Court special election, which was almost a referendum on Musk himself, despite his extraordinary contribution to the race financially. He was repudiated in a blowout defeat. And then, of course, we saw this. We didn't cover it here because, it was interesting. It was kind of funny, but it wasn't strictly political. So we didn't discuss it. But within the past week, Elon Musk had another high-profile humiliation, as the Daily Beast notes. He rage quit a live stream after being cyberbullied by gamers. Elon Musk rage quit a live stream of the video game Path of Exile 2 on Saturday night after repeatedly dying while also being ruthlessly cyberbullied in the chat. Path of Exile 2 is one of Musk's favorite games, so much so that he once claimed to be one of the world's top players in an attempt to boost his gamer cred, before later backtracking and admitting that he had been secretly paying people to level up his account to make him appear more talented at it than he was. Nevertheless, while attempting to show off Starlink's in-flight Wi-Fi capabilities while on board his private jet over the weekend, Musk streamed himself playing some Path of Exile 2 on the hardest difficulty, which was broadcast live on X. The Doge chief was predictably terrible at the game, but that was the least of his problems. Less than 5 minutes into the stream, a player logged on and asked Musk if he could please jerk off Mr. Trump so he dies of a heart attack. It only got worse from there. For the next hour and a half, Musk sat in stony-faced silence and blasted techno music while dozens of users with names, they're pretty salacious names, you can read them here, repeatedly spammed the chat to tell him, "You have no friends and you'll die alone. You will always feel insecure and it will never go away." Again, it gets pretty brutal. Quote, "Elon, it's me, Ashley St. Clair. I have no other means of contacting you, so I bought Path of Exile 2 early access. Please pay your child support. Thank you, Elon." Said an account pretending to be the conservative influencer, currently locked in a custody battle with Musk over their 5-month-old child, while another said his estranged daughter, Vivian, quote, was right about him being terrible at video games. Some streamers attempted to help Musk out by trying to show him how to mute the chat function, while others encouraged people to buy Tesla stock and thanked him for his work with Starlink and Doge, but they were drowned out by a cavalcade of abuse from gamers who relished the opportunity to give the billionaire a piece of their mind. But aside from muting a couple of the loudest trolls after almost an hour of sustained abuse, Musk did little to stop the army of trolls from relentlessly mocking him. Eventually, he vanished when his Wi-Fi connection abruptly cut out and ended the stream, which he later deleted from X, but was swiftly re-uploaded onto YouTube. Yikes. So, under normal circumstance, I would say bullying is atrocious. It's terrible. But Elon Musk and Donald Trump are some of the biggest bullies out there. And I think it's okay to mock these high-profile, extraordinarily powerful MAGA bullies. I don't think that we're obligated to be kind to the cruelest people in modern politics. I think that that's an asymmetry that they have attempted to exploit for their own benefit, where they get to say whatever they want, whenever they want, about whomever they want with impunity, but you're obligated to treat them with kid gloves. That's bullshit. The golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. And I would say that if Elon Musk expects courtesy and grace and kindness, he's obligated to show it. There has to be a degree of reciprocity. But unfortunately, MAGA just refuses to get on board with that. They want to be as cruel as possible, but then they don't want to have to deal with any sort of cruelty or backlash, depending on how you characterize it in turn. And listen, I grew up in I was raised in a household with a family that sarcasm was a love language, and it was a currency. It was one of the ways we communicated. And so you had to develop pretty thick skin. And the notion was basically, if you can't take it, don't dish it out, and vice versa, right? Elon Musk and Donald Trump love to dish it out, but they can't handle it particularly well. Now, getting back to Nate Silver, since that was the tweet that precipitated Musk's response, let's look at Elon Musk's favorability. It's been updated only since the 11th. It hasn't been updated in the past 3 days. Let's look here. Yeah, as of today, 53.5% of Americans have an unfavorable view of Elon Musk, and 39.6% have a favorable view. And Musk's numbers have been on a downward trend, especially since Trump took office. In early January, Musk's net favorability rating was effectively dead even at minus 0.2%. Now, it is staggeringly lopsided. Yeah, interesting. We'll conclude with this. So I saw this in Newsweek. I thought it was interesting. Elon Musk could be Democrats' secret weapon in the 2026 midterms. Much to the annoyance of Democrats, Musk has become a prominent figure in Trump's administration. The Tesla CEO has spearheaded efforts to reduce the deficit by at least $1 trillion, held private meetings on Capitol Hill, and even attended cabinet meetings. However, Musk's growing influence in Washington may be a central factor in a Democratic resurgence in the 2026 midterms. In recent weeks, Musk's approval ratings have plummeted. And again, it goes into some of the polls, which we've discussed in previous videos, and Nate Silver has here. Similarly, a YouGov Economist poll conducted between April 5th and 8th among 1,500 registered voters showed a drop in Musk's favorability from 44% in January to 40%. Again, it mentions what Nate Silver's been tracking. Since joining the Trump administration, Musk has aggressively pushed for policies aimed at slashing government spending, rolling back regulations, and downsizing the federal workforce, all in his role as the head of the Department of Government Efficiency. Just last week, thousands gathered in a series of global hands-off protests expressing outrage over Musk's attempts to gut federal agencies and cut the federal workforce. Hundreds of Tesla takedown demonstrations have taken place, urging people to sell their Tesla vehicles and shares of the company's stock in protest. In March, its market value fell by 4%. Then it goes on to the Wisconsin Supreme Court special election, in which Brad Schimmel, who was the Musk-backed and Trump-backed candidate, got a shellacking. Quote, "It was clear that his efforts to take a chainsaw to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are deeply unpopular with the majority of voters," Democratic strategist Doug Gordon told Newsweek. Amid Musk's declining popularity, Democrats are starting to see a path to recovery in the 2026 midterms after the party faced a humiliating defeat in the 2024 election. Pollster Adam Carlson suggested the Democrats could adopt a strategy similar to the one Republicans used in 2010 when they targeted then-Speaker Nancy Pelosi, whose low favorability ratings made her a more effective target than President Obama, who was still relatively popular. Carlson argued that Musk, much like Pelosi at the time, could become a potent symbol for Democratic opposition, particularly if his favorability continues to decline while Trump's approval remains stable due to the loyalty of his base. However, recent polls have shown Trump's approval is declining as well. Quote, "Musk could serve as a powerful bonus boogeyman for Democrats, particularly in tight races across the House, Senate, and state-level contests," Carlson said. As we saw in Wisconsin last week, Musk is so electorally toxic that just the idea of him might be enough. Carlson also noted that while Democrats should focus their attacks on Trump ahead of the 2026 midterms, quote, "having that bonus boogeyman who is loathed by swing voters could be pivotal in key House, Senate, governor, and down-ballot races." Is it possible? Yes. Of course, it's also a while away, And who knows how close Musk will be to the Trump administration. Again, his special government employee status is about to expire. Trump has publicly indicated that he intends to jettison Elon Musk in terms of close proximity. They will, of course, remain political allies because he wants Musk's money to back his political initiatives. But it could be that even Trump is recognizing that, damn, I can no longer hug this guy and use him as a heat shield because he is so unpopular that he will poison me politically or drag me down. But Democrats absolutely need to make Elon Musk as much of a political target as they possibly can in order to gain political momentum, as long as it's efficacious, I should say. But there you go. Elon Musk tragically responding to Nate Silver's tracking of his unpopularity by saying, well, yes, it's my enemy's propaganda, but also, I guess I did it too. And you did, Elon. You really did. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.